Look, I reckon Caitlyn Clark is going to be even better coming into the season. Just look at her arms, for God's sake.
And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. You know, Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
Well, I mean, Gino Auriemma was talking about Caitlyn Clark and Paige being the same build. Yeah, they're not the same build right now. But, like, how much bigger Caitlyn Clark's arms are than last year. It's mad.
I gotta ask you a basketball question.
Yeah.
I know that you work really hard in the offseason. You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. What's the thing that you're working on in this offseason?
I think, honestly, besides the actual basketball skill part of it, I think getting stronger, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building that strength. Obviously, it was hard going right from the college season to the professional season. You don't get to spend a lot of time in the weight room. So that's what I've tried to focus on the most here. And then obviously, a lot of things on the court. I'm always wanting to get better, and that's kind of what drives me, and I love it. I love getting to do it, and I feel very fortunate that it's my job.
Somebody said the league is not ready for Caitlyn. 3.0 MVP is hers. Yes, go. Fever admin, I love you. Caitlyn put some weight on, bro. She definitely got in the weight room. And, like, I don't think Caitlyn put weight on. I think Caitlyn put a lot of muscle on. I think that's what the biggest difference is that we're seeing out of Caitlyn. You know, going into this upcoming season, I think Caitlyn put a bunch of muscle on, and it shows. It shows within her, you know, her body frame. It shows that her arms is bigger and her thighs is way wider. She definitely put some muscle on.
Caitlyn Clark isn't just a rising star in the WNBA, she's a revolution in the making. We all know her for her fearless three-pointers that have become a signature, launching from ridiculous distances like it's second nature. But this season, it's not just her shooting that has everyone buzzing. Oh no, Caitlyn Clark is no longer just the shooter from the logo. She's a physical powerhouse, a complete transformation from the player who once got knocked around by defenders. The WNBA is now on alert because Caitlyn Clark has completely redefined herself. The question isn't whether she's ready for the next level, it's whether anyone in the league can stop her. From the moment Caitlyn Clark entered the WNBA, she wasn't just stepping onto a new stage, she was stepping into a firestorm of criticism. Despite her spectacular college career, there were still those who doubted whether she could adapt to the brutal demands of professional basketball. Clark, while known for her dazzling shooting range and electrifying playmaking, had always been considered more of a finesse player, and in a league as physical as the WNBA, finesse alone doesn't cut it. Critics began questioning whether she was built for the hard-hitting, full-contact nature of the game. Among those doubting her ability to handle the rough play was none other than Gino Auriemma, the legendary coach of the University of Connecticut, one of the most respected figures in women's basketball. Auriemma's comments were public, blunt, and delivered with the confidence of someone who had seen it all. He expressed concerns about Clark's ability to handle the physicality of the WNBA, famously remarking, "We'll see if she can take the hits." His skepticism wasn't just about her game, it was about her toughness, something that, to him, was a non-negotiable trait in the league. That statement stirred up a mix of curiosity and doubt throughout the basketball world. Could Caitlyn Clark, despite her exceptional skills, really survive the constant barrage of physical play that the WNBA is known for? Would she be able to absorb the hits and keep performing at the same level? Critics and fans alike were left wondering if Clark's incredible talent was enough to overcome the pounding she was about to endure. What they didn't realize, however, was that Caitlyn Clark wasn't the type of player to back down from a challenge. If anything, the doubt and skepticism only fueled her desire to prove them all wrong. Instead of shrinking away from the physical challenges, Caitlyn Clark took them head-on. Each hit, each shove, each hard foul, they became stepping stones in her journey. She didn't crumble under the pressure. She used it as motivation. The WNBA's physicality became a proving ground, and Clark took every challenge as an opportunity to grow stronger. Every time an opponent tried to knock her down, she picked herself up and kept pushing. The skepticism aimed at her wasn't a burden. It was the spark that ignited her transformation. What people didn't see was how those doubts would become the foundation for one of the most remarkable turnarounds in recent basketball history. While most players spent the offseason relaxing or maintaining their current form, Caitlyn Clark approached the break differently. Her offseason was a journey of reinvention, a mission to take her game to new heights, and more specifically, to redefine her physicality. Clark wasn't interested in just adding a few pounds or improving her fitness a bit. She was laser-focused on building a body that could handle the rigors of the WNBA and elevate her performance across the board. Her transformation wasn't just a matter of hitting the gym now and then. It was a relentless commitment to strength training. Clark added a solid 8 pounds of muscle to her frame, and this wasn't just about putting on size. Each pound was a calculated decision to increase her power and explosiveness. Her training included a combination of weightlifting, functional movements, and explosive exercises designed to build muscle and improve agility without sacrificing the speed and finesse that made her special in the first place. But it wasn't just the physical side that changed, it was the mental side, too. During this offseason, Clark worked on her mental toughness with just as much dedication as her physical strength. She understood that the WNBA was not just a test of skill, but a test of will. She needed to come back not just stronger, but more confident, more resilient, and mentally tough. Her journey wasn't just about building muscle. It was about developing the mindset of someone who could not only survive in the WNBA, but dominate. Coaches, like Stephanie White from the Indiana Fever, quickly noticed the transformation. It wasn't just that Clark had added muscle. She had become sharper, faster, and more determined to leave her mark on the league. What had once been a question mark, her physicality, had now become her greatest asset. Her mental and physical transformation was not only about survival anymore. It was about dominance. What happens when you take a player who already had an electrifying skill set and add an entirely new dimension of strength and power? You get a nightmare for opposing defenses, and that's exactly what Caitlyn Clark has become. Her newfound strength isn't just cosmetic, it's a game changer, one that has completely altered the way she plays both offense and defense. Before her transformation, Clark was often criticized for being a finesse player, someone who could be knocked off her spot or outmuscled by stronger defenders. But that was the old Caitlyn Clark. The new Caitlyn Clark is a force. She has the same deadly shooting ability from the perimeter, but now when she drives to the basket, defenders can't just bump her off course. Instead of being pushed back, they're now the ones bouncing off her. Her core is as solid as steel, her legs are powerful, and her arms are sculpted to withstand the rigors of full-contact basketball. When she powers through the lane, you better believe that defenders aren't just trying to stop her, they're trying to avoid being run over. Clark's transformation has made her nearly impossible to stop in the paint. She's no longer the player who shied away from contact. She's the one looking for it. Whether it's absorbing hits and finishing through contact or sealing off defenders for a quick post-up move, Clark has turned what once might have been a vulnerability into one of her greatest strengths. And it's not just about offensive power. Her defense has completely changed, too. Previously, defenders might have targeted her as a weak point on the defensive end. Now, Clark is just as aggressive on defense as she is on offense. Her improved strength and agility allow her to lock down opponents, disrupt passing lanes, and even grab boards with the same tenacity she shows when scoring. Let's not forget about her rebounding, an area where she's truly begun to shine. Once seen as a liability in this area, Caitlyn Clark is now a dominant presence in the paint. She's no longer getting out-muscled for rebounds. She boxes out with authority, and when the ball is in the air, it's hers. What used to be a weakness has now become a major strength. No longer does she rely solely on speed and finesse. She now has the power to back up her skills. It's not just about outrunning defenders. It's about outworking them, outmuscling them, and showing that she can handle every aspect of the game, both physically and mentally. Caitlyn Clark's transformation wasn't just about her physique. It was about a profound shift in how she approached the game. For a player who is often criticized for being too fragile in the rough-and-tumble world of the WNBA, the physical pressure she faced during her rookie season could have easily broken her. Instead of crumbling under the pressure, Clark used every hit, every shove, and every painful fall as fuel to forge a new mentality. The notion that she couldn't handle the physicality of the WNBA quickly turned into one of her greatest motivators. The more she was knocked down, the stronger she became, not just physically, but mentally. Where many players might get frustrated or overwhelmed by the constant physicality, Clark turned it into a challenge. Each hit became a lesson, each fall became a reminder of her resilience, and every defender who tried to stop her only added more fire to her competitive spirit. What was once a potential weakness became a source of pride. She began to see these challenges as opportunities to prove her critics wrong. This shift in mentality didn't just change her on the court, it reshaped her entire approach to the game. Instead of being the player who was pushed around or knocked off her spot, Clark transformed into a player who set the tone for the game. She became the one who dictated the pace, who invited contact, and who made defenders fear her presence. Her confidence skyrocketed. Her fearlessness became contagious. Where once she might have hesitated when confronted with aggressive defense, she now sought it out. Clark wasn't just accepting the physicality of the league, she was embracing it. She became a player who thrived on the challenge, who met aggression with aggression, and who was unafraid of anyone standing in her way. That's the difference between the Caitlyn Clark we saw in her rookie season and the Caitlyn Clark we see today, a player who commands respect rather than waiting for it. Her mentality became her strongest asset. Clark developed a never-back-down attitude that not only enhanced her physical game, but also sharpened her mental approach. She learned to focus on what she could control, her effort, her drive, and her response to adversity. This mentality shift wasn't just a minor adjustment, it was a complete overhaul of how she approached basketball, and it has made her one of the most dangerous and dynamic players in the league. The same girl who was once doubted for her ability to withstand hits is now the player everyone fears to face, and that fear isn't about her shooting or her speed. It's about her indomitable will to succeed, no matter the obstacles. Caitlyn Clark's rookie season was just the beginning of what would become an extraordinary career. In her first year in the WNBA, she already made waves with her shooting ability and her impressive stats. Her logo-range threes were jaw-dropping, her court vision was exceptional, and her poise under pressure proved she was built for the bright lights of professional basketball. But despite her obvious talent, the league was still adjusting to her presence. There were whispers that she was just another sharpshooter, another player with a flashy skill set but no toughness. Critics thought that once the physicality of the league hit her, she would fade away. But Caitlyn Clark had something else in mind. She wasn't just going to survive, she was going to thrive. Fast forward to today, and Clark isn't just surviving the physicality of the WNBA, she's dominating it. What we're seeing now is a player who's far more than just a sharpshooter. She's stronger, faster, and, most importantly, more powerful. Her rookie season may have been impressive, but the Caitlyn Clark we're seeing today is an absolute force of nature. She's now a player who can muscle her way through the paint, finish through contact, and dominate defenders who once might have knocked her off balance. Her game has evolved from being a showcase of speed and finesse to a powerful display of strength and agility. She's no longer just the player you defend with a quickness advantage. She's the player you have to figure out how to stop completely. What's truly remarkable is how quickly Caitlyn Clark has adapted to her newfound physicality. Where some players take years to adjust their game, Clark has done it in a matter of months. Her offensive game has been completely redefined. Her finishing ability around the rim has become one of the most dominant aspects of her play. Once, defenders could bump her off her spot with ease. Now, she's the one setting the tone with each drive. Her post-up game has become just as dangerous as her shooting, and her ability to absorb contact and finish through it is unmatched. But perhaps the most surprising element of Clark's transformation is her defensive game. She was often seen as a liability on the defensive end, a player who was targeted by opponents looking to exploit her physicality. Today, Caitlyn Clark is a two-way threat. She's no longer someone who can be pushed around. Now, she's the one shutting down offensive plays and locking down defenders. Her agility, strength, and newfound confidence have made her an exceptional on-ball defender. Her growth on the defensive end is just as important as her offensive evolution, and now, She's feared on both sides of the court. Opponents no longer just have to worry about her shooting from the logo. They have to worry about her snatching the ball from them, preventing easy passes, and disrupting their entire offense. Clark has become a complete player, one whose physical transformation has made her a WNBA powerhouse. When Caitlyn Clark set her sights on the WNBA, she wasn't aiming to just be another player on the court. She wasn't satisfied with merely making a name for herself. Caitlyn Clark is playing for legacy, a legacy that will not only establish her as one of the best players of her generation, but will also secure her place among the all-time greats in the history of women's basketball. Her transformation in the offseason has positioned her to do just that. She has taken her game to a whole new level, blending her natural talent with the strength, power, and mental toughness required to dominate in the WNBA. Analysts are already pegging her as a serious MVP contender, and it's clear why. Caitlyn Clark isn't just looking to be a top scorer or an exciting player to watch. She's playing to redefine what it means to be a WNBA superstar. Her physical upgrades have not only made her more dangerous on offense, but also elevated her to a position where she can now fully dictate the flow of the game. What stands out most about Clark's mentality is her drive. She's not satisfied with being good. She's focused on being the best. She's not just preparing for another good season. She's preparing to leave a lasting impact on the league, to be remembered as one of the greatest to ever play the game. The work she's put in over the offseason shows that she's not just here to compete. She's here to dominate. Her mindset is clear. She wants to be the player that every future WNBA star looks up to and aspires to be. And with every step she takes toward her goal, Caitlyn Clark is not just building her legacy, she's rewriting the future of the WNBA. Her influence extends far beyond her own career. She's changing how the league is played, how players approach the game, and what it means to be an elite athlete. If you're watching her today, you're witnessing something truly special. Caitlyn Clark isn't just playing for accolades, she's playing to change the game forever. And when she's done, the WNBA will never be the same. As we head into the new season, one thing is clear. Caitlyn Clark isn't just back. She's back as a completely new player. The transformation she's gone through isn't just physical. It's mental, emotional, and strategic. She's stronger, faster, and more unpredictable than ever before, and the WNBA better be ready because Clark's coming for them all. This isn't just another season for her. It's the start of a new era in women's basketball. So buckle up. Caitlyn Clark is about to put on a show like we've never seen before. The league has never been more excited and terrified of one player. And that player? She's Caitlyn Clark, and she's ready to dominate.